Hello class, today we will be reading a story called A Different Pond, and it is written by Bao Fi and illustrated by Tai Bui. Can anyone tell me, what do you notice about the cover of the story? Yes, Sophia? Yeah, that it's nighttime. Look at the sky. Yes, and you also notice stars. Good job. Yes, the sky is very dark. Does anyone else notice what the father and his son are wearing? Yes, good job, Genesis. They're wearing coats, so that must mean it's cold. So it's night, it's cold. What are they doing? Do you notice what he has in his hand? Does anyone know what that is? Good job. Yes, that is called a fishing pole. And this, yes, good job. That's a pond, and he's fishing in the pond. Yes, good job. So it's cold, it's night, and they're fishing at a pond. Let's see what the story is about. It is called A Different Pond. And we have some messages from the author and the illustrator. The author says that this book is for my family and for refugees everywhere. And the illustrator says, for the working class and all the young dudes. Ready? Let's begin. Dad wakes me quietly so Mom can keep sleeping. It will be hours before the sun comes up. In the kitchen, the bare light is burning. Dad has been up for a while, making sandwiches and packing the car. Can I help? I ask. Sure, my dad whispers and hands me the tackle box. Oh, look, so he's helping his dad by carrying one of the boxes. The street lights look brighter, and the roads aren't so busy before the sun comes up. Dad turns on the heater and tells me stories. Look, he's inside the car while his dad tells him stories. A kid at my school said my dad's English sounds like a thick, dirty river. But to me, his English sounds like gentle rain. We stop at the bait store on Lake Street. It always seems to be open. You're here early today, the baitman says. Got a second job, my dad explains. I have to work this morning. On a Saturday? The baitman asks. My dad nods. I feel the bag of minnows move. They swim like silver arrows in my hands. It's still dark when we get to the pond. We park the car and climb over the divider between the road and the trees. Ooh, look, are you supposed to be doing that? What does the sign say? It says posted, no trespassing, keep out. Let's see what happens. My dad holds my hand and walks ahead through the tangle and scrub. Step where I step, he says. I am thinking about what Dad told the baitman. If you got another job, why do we still have to fish for food? I ask. Everything in America costs a lot of money, he explains. I feel calluses on his hands when he squeezes mine. And a callus is what happens to your hand when you hold something too hard and for a long time, and they usually go here. They are very rough and hard. Sometimes A Hmong man is at the pond. He speaks English like my dad and likes to tell funny jokes. Sometimes there's a black man there too. He shows me his colorful lure collection. Look, lures are types of fishing hooks so that they can get fish. This time it is just me and my dad. It is a little bit cold. I rub my hands together, yawn, and look up to see faint stars like freckles. So we were right. It is cold, it is dark, and he's starting to see faint stars while his dad is fishing. Next says, my dad sets up in a clearing. I gather small thin twigs for a fire. They need to be dry and clean. I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then 10 more for later. I put some rocks in a circle and set up the twigs like a volcano. Dad reminds me. I set one end of each twig down, so the other up, leaning them in so they rest against each other and hold each other up. I get it to light with just one match. Dad nods. Like here he is setting up the fire, how his dad showed him. Oh. You want to put the minnows on the hook? Dad asks. I want to help, but I shake my head no. I don't want to hurt that little fish, even if I know it's about to be eaten by a bigger one. My dad smiles. He isn't upset with me. Dad hands me a sandwich, cold bologna, between 2 pieces of bread. Careful of the spicy stuff, he says. There's half a peppercorn, like a moon split in two, studded into the meat. And this is them eating sandwiches by their fire. I used to fish by a pond like this one when I was a little boy in Vietnam. Dad says, biting into his sandwich. With your brother? I ask. Dad nods, then looks away. Dad tells me about the war, but only sometimes. He and his brother fought side by side. One day, his brother didn't come home. Yes, it's possible that his brother died on Miami. The bobber dips in the dark and Dad pulls. Got one, he says, almost shouting. A crappie, and soon another. Can I help? I ask. Look, here he is. He nods, and I use 2 hands to help guide the fish into the bucket. This feels slimy and rough at the same time. Dad laughs at the funny face I make. Ugh. Dad smiles, his teeth broken and white in the dark because we have a few fish and he knows we will eat tonight. Time to go home. Dad must get ready for work. He washes his hands with a small nub of green and white soap. Then I do the same. And look, there they are washing their hands in the pond. Look at the trees. I look at the trees as we walk back to the car. I wonder what the trees look like at that other pond in the country my dad comes from. So where do you think his dad is from? They mentioned the Vietnam War, so maybe that's where they're from, huh? By the time we get home, the sunlight coming through the window is just a faint tint, blue and gray instead of gold. So they spent almost all night at the pond. Oh my goodness, that's a lot of time. At home, Mom looks tired, but she smiles at the fish in the big white bucket. That's the mom, and her son, and her husband. My dad changes his clothes and gets ready to go to work. He pats me on the back and says to Mom, "Our little boy did a good job with the fire today." "You learned so quickly," Mom says. Then she asks me to help with the fish before she has to go to work too. And look, here is his dad getting ready for work, and here he is helping his mom with the fish. I'm sad that she and Dad must leave, but not too sad. I know that later on they will both come home. "Look after your baby brother," Mom reminds my brothers and sisters. She means me. Then she gets on her bike and goes to work. I'm not a baby, I think to myself. I helped catch dinner. Tonight we are all home. Dad will put rice in the cooker and Mom will fry the fish on both sides until they are crispy. I will bring out the jar of fish sauce that has flecks of chili pepper and carrots floating on top. At the table, my brothers and sisters will tell funny stories. Mom will ask about their homework. Dad will nod and smile and eat with his eyes half closed. "Good fish," he will say to me. And look, that's his family. Yes, good job. Pointing out that they're different. The mom, the dad, and the boy. And the brothers and sisters all have the same color. I wonder why. And I will smile and nod. And later, when we sleep, we will dream of fish in faraway ponds. And because he fishes all the time with his dad, he dreams of fish. The end.